This is the Girls of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. What I want to share with you guys today is about the question, can women have it all? And the answer is yes. But it's in the long term, in the future. It's not something that's going to happen immediately right now, and there's a lot of precursors that need to be put in place. First of all, the most important aspect is to understand your female psyche, okay? Understanding the woman. Because if you understand yourself, that helps with you setting up your life the way that it needs to be in order for you to have it all. Let's just define have it all first. What does having it all mean? This means that a woman can be full of joy and happiness all of the time, have an attitude independent of circumstances. Ooh, this is a tricky one. And to have no fears nor worries, and basically to be in the now. That's what it means to have it all. To be able to be in the now and to enjoy and savor and taste every single moment of life that you have. Because if you are able to do that, you literally are having it all. And at the same time, having it all also means that you have time and money freedom, and you've got a husband that massively loves you, and you've got kids. Okay, I think it's important to mention that if you're feminine, you will desire kids at one point in your life. And you'll look at it and you'll be like, these are my kids. This is my nest. This is my family. I love this inner circle. And it's going to be your everything. It's because you're having it all, okay? So this is a problem in today's world because women are being told that they can have it all, but that they're the ones that are responsible for getting it. This is insane. This is not working. And I'll explain to you why. And I'll explain it to you by explaining my story and the story that I have with my wife. Because from the age of 18 to 23, I was basically full on about getting married young. Okay, so I left to Africa for 2 years. I came back at 21 years old, and my goal, oh my gosh, my goal was to get married and have sex. I was very religious. I still am very religious, but not in terms of what I did in the past. But what happened was that I found eventually, after a long time and several failures with relationships, I eventually found the woman that I'm happy living with today, Alexis. And what happened was that everything went downhill from there. And it was basically because I didn't understand the female psyche. It was a miracle that we got married in the first place in general, because she didn't really know what she was getting herself into. I was very feminine in the past, by the way, which meant that I was burdening my woman and causing her to be masculine, which is being burdened. And so I was burdening her. Not only that, but after 6 weeks, I was like wondering, why on earth is she not pregnant? Like, is something wrong with me or something? Like, I was scared to death that I wasn't able to have kids. But then after 6 weeks, we were on the train. We were heading to my sister's in Stavanger and in Norway, and it was for Christmas. And she peed on the stick on the train. I remember us looking at it, and she had gotten pregnant. And we were so excited, but we had no idea the roller coaster that we had just started on. And the reason why I say that is because I did not have money. And because I didn't have money, I did not have time. And those are the two things that if you want to have it all, you've got to have those two things. You can't have it all unless you've got time and money freedom. With time and money freedom, it allows you to spend your time the way that you desire to spend it. It doesn't mean that you live a life without any problems. It's just that problems are a lot easier to handle. And if you've got time on your hands to handle those problems, then that's fantastic. Now, you might want the addition of money, because very often money can solve problems that time cannot, because you simply have the money. Like, for example, if you need, if you're in a place where you need a specialized doctor for health purposes or whatever it is, money is going to help a lot of the time, where time is not going to help much. So, the story was, we had a baby, And now I needed to go and work because I need a lot of money. Babies cost money. And as they grow up, they cost more and more and more money. And then we had a second child 18 months later. And now I need to go and make more money. So I'm working all the time and I'm feeling great about working. But every time I was getting momentum in my businesses because I had my full-time job, but I also had a business that required my consistency and my time and investment in it, my focus on it, in order for it to exponentially grow. The passive income. And that's the problem. Every time I was getting momentum in that business, I was spending less and less time with my wife and with the kids and was burdening her with the fact that she needed to take care of the kids while I was being gone. And it was making her very masculine and burdened, and which was also causing accidents to happen because she wasn't venting to me about the issues that she has. If you haven't seen the venting videos, go back and check out what venting is, because I should speak more about it on this channel, because it's one huge aspect of this concept that I have in terms of the Girls of High Value channel. But the problem was that a lot of problems were happening, which were distracting me from my project, my business, and required my time and money focus on my family. Now, I wouldn't have any problems with that. The only problem was that I then neglected my business. And when you neglect a business, guess what? It's gonna fall down and collapse, which my businesses did all the time, again and again and again. Not necessarily because I didn't have the skill, although you can say that that's one of the reasons. But the biggest reason, in my opinion, and I'm not blaming my woman for this or my kids, because I was the one who was burdening her. I caused this to be upon her. The problem was that I was burdening her, and I was basically creating the need for me there, because I didn't have the money in place and I didn't have the time, because I needed to spend my time making money in order for me to provide for this family that was growing up and the kids growing up. And then I gave her a third child. Oh my gosh. Like, what am I thinking? Or what was I thinking? I wasn't thinking. I was basically going according to the religious beliefs that I had, which was multiply and replenish the earth, get as much kids as you physically can. And I was like, let's have 12 kids, you know? And my wife also wanted a lot of kids. But the problem was not the fact that, you know, we didn't want kids. The problem was her capacity, her ability to handle this responsibility. And I was causing responsibilities and burdens to come upon her shoulders, making it more difficult, giving her less and less capacity over time. And I didn't have the money and time freedom, which made things like 10 times worse. Okay? So how can a woman have it all if she doesn't have time and money freedom? And how can a woman have it all if her husband needs to get one of these, okay, in big measures? You can't. This is why it's critical to find the right guy up front. And who is the right guy? A right guy is someone who's chosen by a huge plethora of people, a network of people who make several selections possible for you so that you can choose one guy out of this massive selection, however many guys you want to choose from. And once you choose that guy, he's gonna have time and money freedom. This is what we're creating with the Men of High Value channel. We're making sure that they're established financially first. And I keep reminding them again and again and again, don't prioritize women yet. You want to understand the female psyche, yes, but first you need to understand business, you need to understand passive income, you need to understand how to lead yourself, lead a team, a business team, and then we can move on to the girls and teach them teach them about the female psyche and understanding the woman and understanding family and how to develop long-term relationships where the woman can fall in love, stay in love, and enjoy her life. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm helping you guys to understand that you can have it all. Yes, you can. And especially if you follow this channel, you subscribe and like and all that stuff, because over time, there's gonna be a man of high value for you, okay? But the more masculine, the more burdened you are, the less likely it's gonna happen, or it's gonna take a freaking long time. And this is why I invite you guys to unburden yourself as much as possible and to seek for femininity in everything that you do, okay? It could be you know, go to my channel and check what I mean by unburdening yourself, because this only happens over time. The more feminine you are, the more masculine man you're going to attract. The more masculine man you have, the more likely he's going to have time and money freedom in order for you to have it all. Okay? And that's the beginning point. That's where it all starts. And once you have that system set up where money automatically comes because you're an amazing woman, he's an amazing man, and it just works, then you can set up your family, have kids, and do what needs to get done in order for you to have kids and not be burdened. So that's my last thought that I wanted to share with you guys, is the fact that right now we're moving to Tbilisi, Georgia in Europe, where it's one of the countries in the world that has the cheapest labor. Who would have thought? And the most profitable. It's very capitalistic in terms of there's a lot of there's low taxes, great business opportunities, etc., etc. And it's going to allow me to hire a chef, to hire a grocery shopper, probably the same person, and a cleaner, again, probably the same person, and basically having someone who works for us either part-time or full-time. That depends on what we're going to do and how much it costs and the skills that we find people having down there. And I'm also going to help my wife to have a personal trainer. She's wanted a personal trainer for 4 years now. She had it back at that time, and she's fired up about it. But guess what? The reason why I can do this is because I have passive income, okay? And it allows me to invest in my wife as long as we're in a cheap labor country, okay? I wouldn't be able to do that in Norway, and I was hoping and I was working towards trying to establish business in Norway, but it was just taking freaking too long, and rent and food and all that stuff was just way too expensive, and I didn't really have time and money freedom back then. And now things are a little bit easier for us. We can be able to do that, and we're fired up about it. And once we've kind of established that, then we have huge plans for the future. We have huge plans for these two channels, the Men of High Value channel and the Girls of High Value channel. We're creating a movement here, and we're grateful that you're part of it. This is the Girls of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you in the next video.